We got a climate article once again. I've been having a lot of climate articles lately. I think I'm gonna make this the final article about climate for a while, because I know people would start noticing it that I'm publishing a lot of climate articles, and maybe I don't want to give them a wrong impression that I am, I don't want to give them a wrong impression. I'm gonna take a napkin. I need to sneeze. We got a truly staggering. The world breaks hottest day record for a second day in a row. I was about to talk about this the day before. However, my internet died, so I was not able to. And that turned out to be a good thing, because yesterday, or the day before, yesterday I wanted to talk about this. It was only the world breaks the hottest day record. Now it's back to back, so already this article has been made quite a bit more interesting than originally. You might remember from my other videos that I was complaining about the weather in my region a lot, so I'm pleased to tell you that those days, as they are talking about, even here was very nice weather, and I went for a good walks. I went for like 2.5 hour walks, felt really good, the weather was beautiful. It was quite a bit hot, so I had to wear a cap so my forehead doesn't get burnt. Besides that, I had a good time. I understand some other people probably did not have a great time. Although in my situation, I was just happy for a good weather for once, because the weather here was really not good. So, the world's average surface air temperature reached 16.15 Celsius on Monday, inching past the new record that had just been set on Sunday of 17.09 Celsius degrees. Do I want to use this? Sure. Monday was the hottest day on record, following a record-breaking Sunday, according to the preliminary data from the European Union's monitoring agency. The world's average surface air temperature reached 17.15 degrees of Celsius, which is somewhere around 63 degrees of Fahrenheit. Not sure why you would be using that. On Monday, inching past the new record that had just been set on Sunday of 17.09 Celsius degrees, a difference of 0.06 Celsius degrees. This might not sound like a lot. However, if we were to break this record once again, let's say with 17.5 degrees Celsius average air temperature, then it would definitely raise quite a bit of eyebrows. This kinda also raises eyebrows, because hey, you broke the average surface air temperature back to back. Like, I don't think this happened often, or I don't believe that this had happened before. Maybe I'm wrong, but the preliminary data from the Copernicus Climate Change Service makes Monday the hottest day on record since 1940, which is, we had broke a record from over 84 years ago. The record hot days comes in a period when millions of people around the world sweltered in heat waves in Japan, China, and the United States, and harshly hot southern Europe. Yes, I read about that several times. Places like Greece, absolutely hot there, and of course, like then places like Arabia, Middle East, Northern Africa. Any place with sort of a desert or even beach, like there must be harshly hot there. Like there must be quite a bit of heat. Meanwhile, heat and humidity combine to an oppressive effect in the Gulf, and high temperatures fueled the forest fires blazing in Greece, Portugal, and North America. Copernicus director Carlo Buontempo said, "What is truly staggering is how large the difference is between temperature of the last 13 months in the previous temperature records. We are now in a truly uncharted territory, and as the climate keeps warming, we are bound to see new records being broken in future months and years. Probably next year, maybe in August. Possibly in August is the last month that we can break this record for the third time this year. And if that happens, well, then nobody can seriously say that climate destabilization does not exist. Because it clearly does. You may notice I call it climate destabilization because that is the more correct way of saying this. Like climate change, climate changes. Like, yeah, we knew that like for like 10,000 years. Yeah, in November it's cloudy. In summer it's sunny. I mean, yes, that's a climate change. Thank you very much. Yes, we kind of knew that before. However, climate destabilization, the term I use, is mainly the term I really like because it accurately represents what is happening in the world. The weather is getting more and more crazier. The temperatures are running wild. Everything is getting destabilized. And even the natural habitats are getting destabilized. Like, we have species that had migrated from certain areas to others because of because of higher temperatures. Like some African mosquitoes had made it to the southern Europe because of the higher temperatures, something like that. Maybe I will be able to find an article about it. If yes, I'm gonna post it in the video. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep it here for a second. So if you did not see it, the whole on the screen, so you can read it. And here we have the graph. I'm gonna open it in a new tab. So we got the data is from 1940 to 2024. I think these are these are the average data. Oh no, this is the average. You can see we are quite a bit over the average. Like, as you can see here, the most of the time it seems that we have been below this average. However, yes, we are in quite of an uncharted territory here. Quite a bit, at least this time around, this year. The last year, you can see, even here, we were above average the entire year. So technically we were in the higher territories here. But in the beginning of year 2023, we were quite a bit, above average, but we were not, in uncharted territories like before. However, here it started to get messy. Like, we managed to get out of all of those data, and here we were severely in uncharted territories. This September, I also remember that in September, like, it was very still, quite a bit warm, quite warm actually. I was, finally asking that, like, is the summer just going, is the summer going to get, going to be in like July, August and September instead of June, July, August? Because like the September was quite warm. And I did not really mind because that meant I could have made more works. Oh, well, I was mostly running actually at that time. However, I gained some weight, so I need to lose it, but that's beside the point. I still weighed less than Elon Musk, so it's okay. And I went on a bit of a rant again. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that this year has been quite a bit more in the uncharted territory. And if this is going to keep up, if this does not drop down into this territory, into the territory of above average, then, well, we might gonna see some, might gonna see some funky things happening. We'll see. As they say, like, they do not know what is going to happen. However, this is not good. Like, this is not exactly good. Before July 2023, the world's record temperature was set on 16.8 Celsius degrees, set on August 2016. But since the 3rd July 2023, at least 57 days have smashed that previous August 2016 record, distributed between July and August 2023 and June and July 2024. June here wasn't that bad. I mean, and by wasn't that bad, I mean it was quite horrible. The weather was horrible and the temperatures weren't really that high here, specifically here in my region. But yeah, the last year, July and August, indeed I can confirm it. When I was working then, it was very warm and I also have to wear protective suits, which was not really pleasant when the whole area was, the whole area was also getting burned by the sun. It was not really pleasant to work under such conditions. Luckily, I never collapsed. And nobody who worked there collapsed. However, it was definitely very stressful. Especially, I mean, we could put those suits away. However, we could never put those suits away during a morning shift, like from 6 a.m. to 14 p.m. And sometimes even between 2 p.m. and like 6 p.m. because the firm's leadership was there, and sometimes they would come to check, how the production is going, and we were not allowed to not have these protective suits. What caused the new heat record bias the Earth getting hotter? The global average temperatures tend to peak during the northern hemisphere summer between late June and early August. That is because the seasonal patterns of the northern hemisphere tend to drive over global temperatures, but the new records are part of an overall warming trend driven by humans burning fossil fuels. Dr. Joyce Kimutai, climate scientist at Imperial College London, said, "This is exactly what climate science told us would happen if the world continued burning coal, oil and gas, and it will continue getting hotter until we stop burning fossil fuels and reach net zero emissions. That will likely not happen for about another many years." Fuck, I got a hair in my mouth. Christiana Figueres, head of UN Climate Negotiation 2010 to 2016, co-founder of Climate Optimism, said the group of 20 major economies must address the new dangerous reality with policies to accelerate the deployment of renewables and prudent phase-outs of fossil fuels. You know what would help reducing those fossil fuel emissions? That run away green gas? Nuclear technology. And which country which country decided to destroy the entire nuclear energy economy? And the country which completely dismantled all of the nuclear reactors, made building the nuclear reactors much more expensive. Therefore, the countries are much less, enthusiastic. Yes, the countries are much less enthusiastic to actually build those nuclear reactors. Yes, Germany. So, if you are angry about the climate destabilization, you can freely say, "Fuck you, Germany," because Germany did it once again and screwed over the entire planet. The Germans simply have talents on screwing over people. So also you might say that there will not be enough qualified people. I dare say opposite. I dare say there would be enough qualified people, and you only need qualified people like in the running stage of the nuclear energy, and besides that, that can be taught. It can be taught how to operate a nuclear power plant. You do not have to be afraid of that. It only happened in Chernobyl, which was the Soviet Union. Yes, Soviet Union. They did not have the most competent people. Well, the West does not either. However, the West is usually more cautious with this stuff. I hope. Most likely not, but hey, that's the problem of humans. They are not cautious enough. However, unlike last year, which saw climate change combined with the warming El Nino climate pattern to usher a new daily record, that is not the case this year, as the El Nino has waned. Carsten Holstein, climate scientist at Leipzig University in Germany, called it remarkable that the record had been breached even though the world was no longer feeling the impact of El Nino. Another sign of the broader trend is the fact that the top 10 years with the highest daily average temperatures are the past 10 years from 2015 to 2024. Also, like, we have to get rid of the fossil fuels. Not only because it emits CO2 and runaway gases, but also because they are not infinite. Do you understand? They are not, these energy sources are not infinite. They are finite. You may argue that the nuclear energy is also finite. Well, even if we were to build a bunch of these nuclear energy power plants, it will last us for decades, if not hundreds of years. And by then, we should be able to use fusion energy. And nuclear energy, which is the reason why I like to talk about nuclear energy so much, is green. Much more greener than any fossil fuel. And it produces a shitload of energy. How can you not buy it? That's my question. You buy nuclear energy now, and then in several decades, you're gonna get fusion energy, which is going to realistically last you forever until you create a Dyson sphere. There you go. So yeah, nuclear energy is very good for the environment. It is much better than any coal or oil plant to produce energy. And if we were to actually invest more into the nuclear energy, which countries like China, by the way, China invests also in the nuclear energy, as well as countries like UAE, and probably countries like Saudi Arabia will also invest into nuclear energy. Very interesting, don't you think? Don't be afraid of nuclear energy. Press your governments to get nuclear power plants. Like, do not let your governments to get rid of nuclear power plants. Do not let your governments to impose any sort of sanctions or restrictions on the nuclear energy, because we need that nuclear energy to produce a lot of energy, a cheap energy, and reliable energy for the upcoming decades before we are able to produce fusion energy. There you go. So yeah, this was everything I wanted to talk about, and we can head to the next article.